Alright, so I'm going to mount a brand new body. This is the Super Rad Super Mafia with the new Rossing Designs X-Ray X4 light mounts on the X-Ray X4. So a couple of the tools that I have here: body reamer, body scissors, a Sharpie with some two-way tape to mark my body lines and to mark the body holes, a circle cutter, and a 2mm driver, as well as some body clips, and of course the hardware for the HBS LITE. I just realized I don't have my calipers to show you guys this measurement here, as well as the measurement for my circle cutter. Alright, so millimeters. Now this is 4 pieces of adhesive heat shrink here, or excuse me, adhesive two-way tape on your Sharpie. This measures 16.5 millimeters. Hopefully you guys can see that. The measurement for this tool here is, it's kind of point to point, about 35 millimeters. That's what I cut my wheel wells to. Anyway, with those measurements, you'll be able to cut out a body pretty easy. So there's going to be a little bit of work in my lap that you guys won't see. I'm trying to do most of it up here, although I normally mount my bodies in my lap just because I am used to that. So first thing I do is I cut the body out on the mold line here. And I don't know how this looks on the camera. This looks pretty terrible on the camera. This is not where I'm going to mount my body, but you have to get this extra flashing off to do this. So it doesn't really matter if this line's straight or messed up. I just try to cut it along this the bottom line here. Now I do have my body currently set up for the Super Mafia body, which is essentially the same as the Twister, except the front body post hole is one position. Whoops! Let's cut that right off. Lower. So we're done with that. We'll just throw it right away. Alright. The next part I'm going to focus on is the rear fender area. So when I do this, I try to make a nice curve on here. Something like terrible drawing skills. Something like that. Oops. Not this line down here, but these squiggly lines here and these squiggly lines here. They add a little bit of extra reinforcement in the corners, because if you cut it out square for any of the bodies, they end up being really easy to rip this fender off. And with the super light bodies, like this is the 0.4 Super Rad, so it's already pretty flimsy, which is great for performance and all that stuff. And the plastics they use are really good. But I do this with any of them just to add a little bit extra material in that corner. Otherwise they seem to break out pretty easily, and I don't get my bodies for free, so I like to make them last. So try to cut the best here, and this piece is being difficult. Just cut it right off. That's what you want in a video, right? I always find this little nub in the back the hardest part to cut out. I hope you guys can see this okay. Oops. Okay. So that's a good enough shape. I'll come back through with the Dremel after I paint this and just round it up just a little bit. I'm not perfect with the scissors, but you can kind of see that I left a little bit extra on both sides. I'm happy enough with that. They're both pretty similar. This line is pretty straight. I did mess up this part just a little bit. I like using curved body scissors. In fact, I cannot cut out a body very well with straight body scissors. Okay, the next step is going to be mounting the HBS, and to do that we need to cut out the rear wing. Now normally I use an old rear wing to position the the wing in the same place. But for this example, I'm going to cut a brand new one. And when I do have to use a new wing, I end up putting the old wing on top of it, kind of trying to jam it on there to get it to a similar location. So I'm going to cut to this bottom line here. I don't know if you guys can really see that. Well, you can. Okay, so this, not the top one, but the bottom one. So again, I'm going to take a big swipe of the material off, not worrying about really the cut line on this particular piece, just to make sure that I get close enough and not damaging the wing I want to keep. Alright, which makes it a lot easier to work with, because now I can actually cut it out where I want it to. So I just try to cut along the line here. And anybody who's mounted a touring car body has seen this a lot. I'm not doing anything revolutionary here. What I wanted to show you is how to mount the Rossing Design HBS. So to do that, you don't need the wing, but this is how I wanted to show how I mounted a complete body with this. I'm just cutting along the line here. It's pretty close in the back to where I wanted to be. Rossing Design has two of these mounts. The standard one, which I normally use, and the HBS, which I will be using for this. Now the standard one is a one-piece design, which I did not grab for this video. So you have to imagine this with a connecting piece in the middle. That is the standard HBS. It weighs about 5 grams. These weigh about 2 grams with hardware, which is rather impressive. So yeah. All right. So now here's the part where we need our car. I only need the car because I need something to push down to poke holes in this. So you take a nice sharp body reamer, the brand of your choice, and yeah. So how I've been mounting the Super Rad Super Mafia is about, and I run mod touring, so I have to take that for what it's worth. And this is for asphalt. For carpet, I mounted a little bit further, the wing a little bit further forward. And when I mount this, I try to mount it towards, hopefully, let me check to make sure you guys move this up here. Sorry. I try to mount it towards the front of the wing mount here. So towards this position, because you're going to have some interference with the back of the body in this guy. So I don't know. The new ones will be marked appropriately, but this is about the position I try to mount the HBS in, and that's just to clear kind of everything in the back here. It gives the most support to this inner fender down here, and it ends up working out pretty good. So I'm hoping you guys can, yeah, you can read that. It says Rossing Designs X-Ray X4. So moving forward, this will have a top and an arrow pointed on it. It's out of focus. There we go. But this one is the pre-production version, so it does not have that. So I didn't bring a regular HBS with me either, so we're going to find out whether this is the right position or not. And if it's not, we'll flip them side to side and try again. So if you bought some of the first ones, this video will be very instructional to you. Rossing Designs is a small company out of Texas, and the owner, Mitch, is a very nice guy. He is an engineer, and he came up with some pretty cool products. This is one of them. So, alright, that's marked. Now I would normally be using wing buttons for this, but I could not find them. So I'll be using the hardware that came with the HBS, plus a couple. I like mounting mine with the some steel hardware, because I don't know if you've ever used aluminum hardware before, but it's a little finicky. Very light, very nice. But the initial pre-painted version, I use the steel version for. For this wing here. That's good there, and we are going to try just like this. So these are pretty easy to mount. The one-piece design you can't put on backwards, but this one, oh, you know what? I do think I have this backwards. I sure do. Alright, so these pieces are angled a little bit here and there. And so based off that, I think I had it backwards to start. Oops. Try to to make a nice polished video for you guys, but it's my first time using these. The light version. You can see how I'm moving it all around here. It's a pretty great material. I don't know where the breaking point is, and I'm not looking to find out. But I have used this several times now on many bodies, and it works really well. So, all right, now for number 2. I'm sure if your name starts with an A and ends with a Hagberg, you would have some very nice measurements for all this stuff. And I just don't mount that many bodies. So you have to kind of bear with me. On this. Alright, so I'm going to take this and twist this mount to make sure it's in the right direction. Well, you can see how much it flexes here. That's kind of nice. Make sure it's in the right position here. So the one-piece design, you don't have to worry about this with. It only kind of goes in the one spot. But these light ones we just came out with, so I'm working with them a little bit here. Kind of see where it goes. Now I'm just trying to put this in the right spot before, to make sure I got these in the right orientation before I mount this thing up. Holes in the fenders. So I'm gonna say I have this backwards. Left and right. This is great. So I'm gonna throw that on there. Doesn't look very good. We'll try it again. I'm gonna switch these left to right. Like I said, the new ones, you don't have to worry about this because they're already marked. But pre-production, fun stuff. First time mounting these. Or if you ordered the standard HBS, and now I've got this. I'm a little confused. Oops. I'm going to pause this video and I will come right back. Alright, so it turns out I'm not an engineer. So, I went and got a regular HBS. Put it in here. And the holes match up pretty close to how I have them in here now. So, if you have the standard HBS, which it looks like this, or the light version, which look like that, there's two pieces here. Standard. They both mount in the same holes, so they are they're interchangeable. And if you have the light version without the markings, you can see this side has kind of this reinforced rib area here, and then this side is flat. the rib area goes towards the back. And if you're running the X-ray, the word X4 is at the top, towards the wing. These are super flexible, by the way. I found out in here that's a 180-degree turn. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I was pretty afraid I was going to break these. So now I poke a hole in the fender here. And how I do that, probably by loosening this up just a smidgen. Get a little movement in here. Alright. So now I just so you guys can see it. This is easier with the regular one. This thing moves a lot. Let's say about that. Okay. Take our nice aluminum screw. Watch me fumble, fail. Putting this in here. All right. There's one. Loosen up this mount just a little bit, just to make sure it moves freely. So we get a good mounting position. Like I said, I do like the regular HBS a little bit better than the light version, but if you are against the extra weight in your body, this one is a really nice tool to eliminate all that, well, most of the extra weight. It's only 2 grams. Anti-tuck as well, so win-win. All that fun stuff. Yeah. So putting these aluminum screws in, just be careful, don't strip them out or anything like that. In case you haven't worked with aluminum before. Alright, so now we have the HBS in here attached. So now on the next part, we are going to mount our front body post. I am using a car stand for this. So we'll take our fancy Sharpie. And we're going to put some body clips in the back. So I've already adjusted my car for all of this. So if you're using the X4, the distance from the back of the tower to this like the front of the standard mount is about, we'll call it 18 millimeters, if you will here. Now my total length of my body post is about 30 millimeters. So this provides me a little bit of movement forward and back. And I am in the upper holes. Here, make sure you guys can check this out. So the little hole here, there's a hole below this one, so I'm in the upper hole. And I am in the third from the top. So there's 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3 holes from the top here. Just to give you guys an idea of what I'm doing here. Yeah. So we're going to put this thing on and put a couple of body clips in it. I like using these big ones in the back Oh, another pro tip on this, or whatever tip. Rotate your body post 90 degrees so that the clips are up and down like this. Makes it a lot easier to pull them out, because if they're sideways, a lot harder. Alright. So, a couple body clips in there. Make sure the body doesn't move. Put this guy on. The mount was just a little bit wonky in the back here. See if we can fix that before we go forward. Just loosening these screws. Try and orient this mount just a little bit better. I had it. Alright. So, now what I'm looking to do is to put this body in the center here. So I'm looking at a variety of different markings. Mostly the space between the edge of the wheel and the fender here. I'm trying to make that the same left to right. The body markings are never the same. I made them the same left to right. It would look like this, and I can visually see that it's different left to right. So, yeah. Doesn't matter the brand of the body. It's always close, but it's never perfect. Sorry if you guys can't see. Here, so I'm just marking in the middle of the body post. My fancy Sharpie. Alright. So we're going to poke a couple holes very gently into this body. Again, super thin body. Don't want to ruin it. More of a turning and a pushing than it is a pushing and turning. Alright, so that is close. You can see it's kind of not quite right. So we're going to there we go. Alright, let me make sure that moves very nicely. Okay, so next thing we do is put front body clips in, which I have somehow misplaced. Second one. Great. I'm gonna have to go get a body clip. All right. So you guys can see this is not fully compressed down. It has some room for movement. That's good. So now we're going to take our fancy Sharpie. Right. It measures about 16.4 or so. That number. Going to slide the ridge part on here so that it lines up with the bottom of the two-way tape, and then we will take a large pit board such as this one, and mark all the way around. This has been my go-to for a very long time. After I got tired of buying Sharpies that are in special blocks and such. Alright. So, as you can see, maybe, there we go. Very nice line around here. Body's not going to rub. So if all you're interested in this video is the mounting of the HBS, we have kind of surpassed that a little bit. I'm going to take a pair of my scissors here and cut it, and I'll be a little bit off camera here for a moment. You have to excuse me. I don't want to mess this body up on the table. This would be a great space for some live music to go in here. Now again, I'll come back through after I cut this, or after I paint this body, and I will use a Dremel with a round wheel just to get all these sharp points off. To make sure there's no tearing or anything like that. When I cut out this body, I just do it slightly above the mark. So come back here and just round these corners off just a little bit. Not that it matters for asphalt, but for carpet, every little little section counts there that doesn't mess with it. So if we look at this this piece here, so this is the bottom, this is the top, and see I just cut a little bit above that Sharpie line, terribly inconsistently when we measure it. Wow. All right, that's enough of that. So yeah, that'll be what you need to do for this. For our front body, when I put this body on, normally how I do it is the front first, put these body clips on, and then I'll do the rear afterwards. Like this. With this body, oh no, it still works. Okay, we're good. With the single mount, you can just grab the whole thing and it slides on. Anyway, that's how I prefer to do this. This is the car I run on asphalt, if you can't tell, with all the scratches and my terrible whatever. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this body here, and I'm gonna be off camera for a second, so I'm gonna pause this video. But essentially, I'm gonna do this with the front wheel not in the glare. So I'm going to put this middle piece here in the middle of the axle, but I'm going to do it a little bit upwards. Exaggeration here. So that I'm going to score it backwards and mark the body to make sure it's in the position I want. So when it comes out, it's going to look very similar to this. So it's going to be just above the cut line for both the front and rear on the body. Now this is a Super Mafia here. This one I use on carpet. It's mounted a little bit differently than the one for asphalt. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so I poked a couple holes in the wheel wells here for the axles, at the axles, and we're done with that for a little bit. So you guys can see this little hole right here. I am off the grid. So how I cut this here, I square it around. I'm not going to do this for all of them, but I'll show you how to do the first one here. So I just take this and kind of square it around. Especially with these super thin bodies, it goes quick. I do have my my wheel well cutter set excessively large. But it ends up being a very nice body. I don't have any wheel rub. It doesn't look weird, but it doesn't give me any rub, especially in the reflection. I race at a rather large asphalt track, so we get a lot of speed here. So this part's sticking, just run the wheel well cutter through it. Now we're over here, it's cut. I'm going to take this piece, and you can see it's kind of broken here, but not here. We're just going to take it where it was cut. I'm just going to gently peel it. Now, if for some reason it does get stuck, like let's say it got stuck here, just take my scissors, and you just cut it just a little bit on the scored line. Just a little bit. And pull it past. Super easy. Shouldn't be ripping bodies or anything like that. If you're ripping bodies when you're using a wheel well cutter, you need to change the blade, or you're doing it too impatiently. So when we come back, I'll have all 4 of these wheel wells cut out, and that'll be pretty much it. Alright, so if you're not using the super awesome HBS on the super awesome super rad, the measurement that I mount my bodies to is about center to center, we'll say 70 millimeters, maybe a little less. It's kind of hard to say here, maybe 70, 71, depending on which part of the line you're measuring from, in the front. So it's pretty far forward. You know, if we look at the template here, we can almost see it better that way. I'm not in the hole. I'm off the grid here. It's pretty far forward. Now, the last thing I like to do is I like to take my scissors and I round them around the corners here. Now, this is for asphalt. For carpet, I don't mount my bodies as far forward. Asphalt, I need a lot more steering than carpet. I like the Super Mafia better than the Twister for a couple reasons. Mainly the performance of it. So I feel like the Super Mafia takes the car a little bit out of the track without taking away grip. I don't have a good explanation for that. It just feels like the car's a little bit more nimble, and it feels like it has just a little bit more steering compared to like the Twister OG. So yeah, there's my mounting of the Super Mafia, which the Rossing Design HBS. Obviously, the next step would be to put the window mask on. Don't forget to wash your hands before you do all this fun stuff, or during if you touch your face a lot or something. And thank you very much for watching this video. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can get these wonderful HBS mounts in the light or the standard at drcproshop.com, or send us a message and we can hook you up. We have them available for all the popular models, obviously the X-Ray X4, the Schumacher MI9, Automatics, Mugen, SP1, Team Associated, you name it. All right, thank you for watching.